Welcome to one of the greatest American art forms, the mixtape. Traditionally, a mixtape is a homemade compilation of media from multiple sources recorded into a medium like a CD, VHS, or cassette tape. What I present here is one part of what I call Mixtape Therapy, a collection of authentic conversations, usually involving multiple people, compiled into a podcast. Just as you might share a mixtape, I share these conversations with you, hoping that you will share them with others and they connect us in a similar way. Now, join me for a little mixtape therapy.
All right. We're going to save reflection for last. Connor, what can I do to make your life easier?
Be a little bit more calm. So maybe after training, let's say I wasn't fully committed to a practice or something. Let's say I wasn't doing as good. I wasn't trying my hardest or something. And my dad would just get really mad because, you spend all this money, we're traveling a lot, and I get it because, my dad wants to see me succeed. He knows that I'm one of the best, and he just wants what's best for me. So anytime I'm not doing great at a practice, and then after he'll be like what the fuck? It'd be funny. It's actually kind of funny when it gets bad. But yeah, I honestly just laugh sometimes. But yeah, that's
well, because I got to think that in this weird way, that's how he's telling you, I want the best for you.
Of course, yeah. That's why I feel like I don't really take it too serious. I have to. I have to take it serious, but nothing to where I'm oh my gosh, I'm scared. I'm not scared of my dad. It's kind of funny to me at this point.
You don't practice jujitsu, do you?
No, I wrestled when I was younger.
Okay.
And I was a bodybuilder, and so I am 100% on him with production, right? And my why is not because I want to live through his eyes or anything. I don't do this. I would not want to be a jiu-jitsu athlete. My why is because I've been for 11 years, every single day, it's jujitsu with him. He gets to where he goes, it's me. My wife doesn't travel with us. Occasionally when we go for big things, like when he did Vegas, the whole family goes out, but it's he and I in a car driving, or he and I at a practice every single night. So I saw the potential in him, but also a reflection in my past. My dad didn't show up for anything for me. Never came to wrestling meets, didn't come to bodybuilding shows. He really didn't care, which is, I don't have relationships with my parents today or my siblings. But with Connor, I look at it and I want him to be a better version of me. I want him to be a better kid than I was. I want him to be a better father than I am. He's on track to just be a much better human. And so I learned from him as well, patience, but I see it and I try to help. I just want him to understand how much potential he has and how much what he's doing at the level that he's doing requires that much more work
100%.
and that much more intensity. And you have to say, fuck it a lot of the times, and you just have to get after it. If you want to be, because the category that Connor is creeping towards, it's that 1% of athletes that break through. And, you talk 5 years old, there's a drop-off point at 10 where the kids that were really good, they fall off, they do other sports. And then at 13, when they become teenagers, they start to gravitate towards other extracurricular activities. Then between 13 and 15, really starts to fall off. Girls come into the picture, sleeping in, just wanting to be a little bit lazy or hanging out by the pool. He was the only one of his group from his original academy that stayed doing jujitsu.
Yeah.
In fact, I had one of his original professors, reach out the other day to say they can't believe they've been able to watch his journey and watch how he's grown. The academy owner, she's like, I knew it. I knew he'd be the one. Which is crazy to see. So as his dad, and knowing that he's told me this is something that he wanted to do, my job is to navigate that funnel, right? To help steer him and clear out any distractions, provide the ability for him to have the resources to train, try to give him the emotional and financial support, right? And do whatever he needs. So yes, 100%, I am freaking self-aware. I'm overbearing. I am the what do they call me? The red dad. I get pissed off, right? Like
Yeah.
I'll tell him like if he's not working, I tell him you're not working because you need to like I have to be transparent with him and say this is what has to go into it. And when you talk about like the Rutola brothers or you talk about some of the other athletes or Jackson, I'm going to use Jackson as an example. When Jackson has a fight coming up, if you want to hang out with Jackson Glass, you have to go train with Jackson Glass. He's not hanging out with his friends at the domain or going to do whatever until his training is done, until his private lessons are done, and he's made his money and he's taking care of what is getting him prepared for battle. So he shuts it all off and he does it really, really well.
Yeah.
We're working on that today. We're working on really treating it like a professional type of scenario. And there's a lot that comes into it, right? Like I tell Connor, would you go to practice if I wasn't waking you up to go to your evening practice? Would you wash your no-gi stuff if I wasn't throwing it in the laundry or telling you to do it? Would you take your vitamins and your supplements if I wasn't telling you to go take it? Right? Like those are the things that my expectation is at 15 now, you got to know to knock that stuff out.
Yeah.
And when I say like I was a bodybuilder, like I competed in a number of NPC shows when I was like between like 19 and 22. And I was in college, working at a Gold's Gym, no financial support from my parents and, you know, hanging out with my buddies. But I was up at 4 a.m. doing cardio. I was dieting and carb depleting and competing and disciplining myself because nobody else would. So those are things that I want him to be able to embrace. And I think he has so many of those qualities, but it's as a dad, you want to continue to nurture it and let him know life's not easy, right? And like a lot of times life is not fair and it's not going to just hand things to you because you're gifted and you've got talent. You have to work your ass off. So.
Okay, what can Connor do to make your life easier?
All of those things I just said. No.
Make
listen,
your own coffee. I'm just kidding.
No, trust me. Like, so I know like, just trust and know that like I do everything out of love. I'm nothing without my family. Like I love my wife more than anything. I love my kids more than anything. I've given every last dollar that I have to support my family, right? Like, and I would do that. Like, and if I had to do it all over again, I'd do it the exact same way. I'm so blessed to have the family that I have. I really am. Like, my wife has sisters that she's super close with. I have no family. I have no relationship with my sister. I have no relationship with my brother, and I don't speak to my parents. So if I didn't have my wife and my kids, I'd have zero.
Yeah.
And so like, I don't take that for granted at any day. I have a mother-in-law who's like my mom. She's become my mother, and she's the greatest grandmother to my kids. I've got sister-in-laws that are amazing aunts, and their husbands, amazing uncles. Like my wife she hit the freaking lottery with the family, right? She really did. So we're blessed in that area. I want my kids, like I want Connor to trust and know that I always have his best interest. I don't want to be him. I don't want to be better than him. I want him to always be on a track record to be better than me in every way possible. And then I'll know that I've done my job.
You know this, don't you, Connor?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, of course you do.
Yeah. Little punk.
All right. Let's go. We're going to go to the bad. Well, you know what? We'll just roll into that one. That sounds good. How do you express your anger? Wait, who you dropped that one in? Well, I think we pretty much covered it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but look, so how do I express my anger? I'll
ways.
say it. I have multiple ways.
Yeah.
But like when I get pissed off, I gotta go to the gym at times too.
Yeah.
You know, I gotta hit weights. I gotta do
I noticed
something.
Well, I think knowing those things about yourself is what helps you be a better person.
Yeah.
Like you go, I know what I need to show up in that way. You know what I mean?
But I also know that I'm an angry person at times.
Yes.
I know. Like I absolutely know. But I know what my anger, like how my anger is anchored at times, right? Like what it really is around. And it's around, I don't know. I don't think I'm a perfectionist. And I definitely don't think I'm right. Almost 90% of the time, I think I'm usually wrong. but I'm a firm believer in I'm right until you prove to me that I'm wrong.
Sure.
It's just like, I'm a negotiator. Like, I'm right until you tell me that I'm wrong. So there, like, I'm loud, I'm verbal. And then there's other times when I'm angry, super quiet, and I shut down and I have to go take a nap and I don't want to talk to anybody. And then there's times where my wife and I, like, we'll go a couple days, we won't really talk much, because I know the other way could potentially be toxic. But when I used to drink a lot of wine for like 15 years. I was drinking wine every single night. So was my wife. She's Hungarian, Italian. I'm German, Irish. But like you come home from work and you want to have a glass of wine, that would turn into a bottle. And then after that, you'd be like, I'm 240 pounds. I don't feel anything. I'm going to get another bottle of wine. That was every night. I never drank liquor. I haven't drank beer or liquor since probably college. It was just red wine. That started just catching up, where I had a couple of really bad hangovers, and then I started seeing my son start to catch on that you're associating your dad with a glass of wine, and my wife as well. So happy to say that I celebrated just 2 years of no alcohol, and not by any other. I just quit. It's like the craziest thing is I never thought I'd ever stop drinking. I thought I was always occasionally I would drink. I just stopped one day. Had one bad hangover driving down to Austin with Connor, and called it quits. Yeah. And never went back.
Awesome. Mine was very similar. Every once in a while, I'll have a drink here on the podcast, but like it was. I'm not showing up as the best person for my daughter if I'm hungover, and I'm not showing up for anybody really if I'm hungover.
Yeah.
And time became more valuable with kids, at least for me. My time became more valuable of the time I'm spending with them. I think we talked about before we started the podcast, the immortality of our lives. And like I'm 50, I don't have a lot of time with her left.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you probably do. You probably have a lot more than you think.
Well, if they come up with technology where like we become half robot and they can put my brain inside something else.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Do you feel like I make you a priority in my life?
100%. I feel like I'm like me, obviously, my mom and my sister were like obviously the main priorities in my dad's life. I feel like, especially into jiu-jitsu, my dad pours everything into me. It's and I'm very blessed to have a dad like that. Super, super blessed. Like my dad, literally, like he'll take me anywhere, he'll do anything for me, and it's just amazing to have that opportunity.
Does Connor make you a priority in his life?
He does, but so I'll tell you what I'm dreading. I'm dreading when he turned 18 and and it's already happened now, right? Like when we first started doing these Austin trips, we had our thing at night after training and stuff. Now, even after tonight, he'll go to Jackson and he'll go, so my wife knows because I don't have any other friends. Like my best friend lives in South Florida and he's been my best friend since I'm 14 years old. My best friend, he's my son's uncle, and just like, I'm lucky I've got one really, really good friend, but it's by design. My life it revolves around my kids. It really does. Because it's in my opinion, a blessing to be a dad. And I wanted to always be there for my kid. But like, I've been able to share almost every weekend driving to Austin for the past 2 years with this kid in the car, and the bonding experience of 3 hours, just either shooting the shit or, him passing gas and joking in the car, like whatever it is, just a bond where whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, when he's older, he will look back and say, my dad was with me.
That's right.
Always.
Dad was there. And you may not agree with a lot of the stuff that I do or say potentially, but like, you'll know that I was there in a support system. So yeah, Connor would drop anything for me. My son would drop anything for me. I know that if I needed him, it wouldn't even be well, can I do this first? He would drop and he would be there. What I dread is in the next few years when he turns 18 and he's got that freedom to kind of fly on his own, travel on his own, and dad's not going to be the primary person to get him there. I don't look forward to that. So I got to figure out, like, what am I going to do? So my wife and I are talking when we move, I want to get a boat. I want the sauna. I want the house set up. I think we're looking in like Bee Cave or Lakeway or Dripping Springs. I have to have something to fall back on when it starts to, I'm there for everything. And then pretty soon, which is going to be the next exciting phase, is when I get to be the fan
That's
and show up to go watch and cheer and not have to worry about, is he doing it right? And that's kind of something that I'm working on now. I really am working on trying to pull back now and not give him criticism, not give him feedback. And I will tell you something, this actually is a good opportunity to say this. I was giving my son, and it was because we were experiencing coaching that just was not, in my opinion, living up to what we needed. Not, and it was a previous school up in the Dallas area. I pulled him from the school because nobody was giving him feedback at tournaments of how he was showing up. It was me. And that feedback turned into negative feedback from a dad to his kid, where you're just like pouring it on him and he's just taking it. And I really recognize that, holy shit, I sound like a dick to my kid right now. I'm talking shit. I'm insulting him. This is terrible. So before we did Charlotte, which was the one around the Christmas time where he won triple gold, 3 divisions, won the men's advanced division. I said, let's just go have fun, go do whatever. You tell me what you want to do. I tried to envision my 5-year-old son going out on the mat. And if he lost, that's the kid that I would see coming off, not the 15-year-old. I would see the 5-year-old, and how would I want to embrace that kid? So I really worked to mentally prepare myself to be just a better version. And I still work on it today because I still have my moments where I just give him criticism. I have to pull back. I'm not an athlete in jiu-jitsu. I have no business coaching him. And where the reason why we're moving to Austin is because I know that the people that he surrounds himself with, Jackson, even Mitch is like an uncle, another uncle. He gives Connor tough love, gives him real feedback. He's a great dude. But all of the people at Simple Man Martial Arts, all the coaches and the pro athletes that work with him, they love him. And they coach him unsolicited. They gravitate to him. So it gives me the comfort to say, you know what, Dad, park it in the back and just pump the brakes and let them, they got it. His friends got him. I know that and I trust it, which is why, I'm pumped about being down here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. This is reflection. I feel like I already know. We're going to ask this one first. When was the last time you were proud of yourself?
Was it that you or me?
That's you.
I get that for you.
You're asking.
I'm asking you, or you asked me.
We both.
Connor, did you pick this question?
I think so.
Yeah.
I picked it.
Okay.
I picked it.
So Todd, when was the last time you were proud of yourself?
Proud of myself. Well, I'm proud of myself every day because I get to wake up and have an amazing family, blessed with my kids that are healthy, and they're doing well in life. So that's proud of them. I was proud of myself, and I wasn't going to touch on this, but I don't want to share it.
Can I just jump in real quick?
Yeah.
I think that the awareness you brought, I was really kind of impressed that he was like, yeah, Dad, your hot-headedness is what bothers me the most. And you handled the criticism in that moment. But then you said, I'm aware of it and I'm trying to change that. And I think that's it. I think you should be really proud of the work that you've done around that so far.
Probably. I think it's I struggle with receiving recognition. I struggle with
well, you don't have a connection with your parents and your family.
Yeah.
You didn't have any of everything you're giving him, you never got.
Yes.
Yeah.
So so I struggle with that. I like to give it. Even in my workplace, I struggle with receiving kudos or attaboys or recognition. I much rather praise other humans. So if I say, hey, what makes me proud? It makes me proud is just the fact that I was a bachelor until I was almost 36. I never thought I was going to be married or let alone have kids. And I never thought I was going to have a real job. I used to be a bartender and I worked in nightclubs, and I couldn't get it together when all my friends were starting families and they had careers, and I never finished college, and just crazy stuff where you're like, wow, now I'm 29 and wait, I better tell my wife, I better walk that back. We got married when we were 36, when I was 36. My wife and I were together earlier than that. So I was like 29 years old, almost 30. So that's late, right? Where you start to think, what am I going to do in life? And so to sit and say, I've got two amazing kids and an amazing wife, a nice house, a good career. I'm proud of that for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Connor, when was the last time you were proud of yourself?
That's how I was proud of myself. You know what? I think hitting 185 on bench. That was pretty sick. Hit it for 2 reps. 2 reps.
I like
Got
it.
Crazy.
I like it,
sir.
Yep.
You know what? It's so funny because if you had not said your whole family or anything, you couldn't think of anything you're proud. I was going to ask you what was the last time you hit a PR. That was exactly the same question I was going to ask. This is how I knew that you didn't ask this question. Well, maybe you want to know. I don't know. If you could change anything about the way you were raised, what would it be?
Change anything.
And actually, I think we already discussed what your dad would probably change about the way he was raised. I think we've covered it.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm an entirely different podcast.
Yeah, I was actually thinking the same thing.
I would say I was gonna say if my dad was more calm, but I've grown into it being like, I do need that in my life. Like I need someone there for me to push me and like help me succeed. Like my dad's been there every step of the way, especially like jujitsu, weightlifting, whatever it is, just life overall. My dad's been there for everything. It's my mom too, obviously, my sister, especially my sister, but my dad, he's there all the time, every time. So I just got to give the props to him, and like he's definitely raised me. I honestly wouldn't change anything about the way I was raised. I love the way I was raised. Yeah.
You're still being raised.
Yeah, being raised. Yeah.
Well, I think the overall theme I keep hearing is that even though maybe you have some things about the way you're responding and stuff like that you want to work on, but he's not missing the message. You know what I mean? Like he's still getting it. And I think, my dad told me he loved me maybe twice in his entire life. I love you, Dad. Anyways, but he just wasn't that kind of guy when we were growing up.
Yeah.
I had to trust and know through his actions and other things what that meant. And I think you're totally. I mean, I feel like that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
And that's that means communication is good. It could be way worse.
We tell each other we love each other.
Probably
every single night.
100
There's
times.
there's not a day that goes by. I remember my wife. When we would talk about that when he was a baby, I'm like, make sure we tell our kids we love them every day. This kid will come up to me. I always told him I'm going to carry you to bed until you're 30.
Oh yeah.
But I can't freaking lift this kid up anymore. It's too fucking big. But like I used to carry him up. 10 years old, I'd be carrying him up to bed, right? Like, but it's I love you every single day, and you give hugs. Even if we're in a bad mood, if Connor and I have a fight or an argument, he goes upstairs. I can't let the kid go to bed at night without us knocking it out and like talking it out, because I will go to bed feeling guilty.
Yeah.
And God forbid something happens during that nighttime when you go to sleep, right? Like I look at that and I'm like, don't ever let an argument keep the communication from happening, right? Like talk it out and hug it out and love your kids. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I got one more question. This is a bonus question.
Sweet.
It's not as serious. Okay, Connor. You and your dad are walking on the street.
Yeah.
Okay. And some guy comes out and he's gonna like rob you or stuff. Okay. Who do you trust more to take the guy out, you or your dad?
Here's the thing. My dad's 240 pounds. Huge. He'd probably knock the guy out. Me, I mean, I probably don't have the best striking. It's decent, but my dad would probably lay the dude out cold. Does he have any weapons though?
Okay, well, I don't know what different if he has weapons, are you gonna jump in?
Why not? Yeah.
I would hope so.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, no, so the second part of this question is, Todd, if a guy came at y'all, who do you trust more, yourself or Connor?
Me, I would never let my kids stand in harm's way. Like
yeah.
I'm gonna take the bullet for my kid, my family. Like I'm that guy.
But I also think like he might be able to take care of that situation really fast.
100%. Yeah, but I don't want him to. That's the beauty of Connor. Like I don't
have
Connor
no weapons.
in fights.
There's no weapons involved, and the guy's just trying to like take some money. I mean,
Okay, so we're selling in. If there's weapons, you're gonna be like, Dad, step back.
I'll try to like get out of the way a little bit, but then if my dad throws the first punch, I could leg kick him a little bit, punch him in the face,
However, I'm always going to try to de-escalate.
Yeah, of course.
With kindness.
Oh yeah, this is totally made up scenario. Okay, so we'll say your dad gets a jump on him.
Mhm.
You jumping in?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah. Of course.
You wouldn't say, "Hey, I'm gonna let the old man take this one." You wouldn't.
I mean, if I see my dad's about to like just like kill a guy, I mean, like maybe I would be like, all right, dad, you know, like.
Oh
I
yeah.
feel
Okay.
like-
Let's say. Well, that's a good question. So, say your dad's like kind of really pummeling this guy,
Yeah.
and like there's a chance like he could kill him or go to prison. Would you pull your dad off and go like, "Hey, we gotta
I
stop
would try to
this"?
be like, we gotta stop. Yeah. And I
Would
think
you do you think you would hear him?
maybe
Yes.
maybe
Yeah.
These are horrible questions.
They are.
But
Don't air this.
no, but you know what it really made me think about is just like the just y'all's bond of the whole family seems like so tight and stuff like that. That my brother he will like if we are together and someone messes with me, he's my younger brother, and even to this day, if someone messes with me, he would be the first person to jump in. Of
course.
You know what I mean?
Awesome.
And those are really that's cool bonds to have. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think Connor would have my back in a situation. He's super quiet.
I know. Like I feel like he's a ninja. I feel like he's not
He is
telling me.
100% a ninja.
Unexpected. I feel
Yes.
like. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, y'all guys want to hug it out before you leave? Share all these feelings and emotions.
Yeah.
Y'all say you love each other. Y'all give hugs. Y'all are big hug guys.
Oh yeah. Every night we hug.